station, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Welcome to the Ray Sports Show, coming to you live on the ASAP Network, the All Sports, All Play Network. We are live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. We're live on the Ray Sports Show page. We're live everywhere on this platform here, social media. We are here today. This is a special edition of pregame college football pregame show. The premiere of college football pregame show. You can get all your information here. We're going to go all the way up to kickoff. We're going to start it here. Sorry for being late. I was supposed to start the show about 4:30, but God and Mother Nature had other callings on the show today. So we're going to get right to it. We're going to get started. We got a jam-packed schedule here. We're going to be talking about the Thursday night games here live on the Ray Sports Show on the All Sports, All Play Network. Let's get it going here. So let's see here. We get everything worked out here. We get all the kinks out of here. And we're going to go with the number 4 ranked Ohio State versus Minnesota. The Big Ten battle here. So let's get this thing started here. We're going to go ahead and add this into the screen. There you go. This is the game we're talking about right here on the All Sports, All Play Network and the Ray Sports Show. So we got the Big Ten Conference. We got number 4 Ohio State. We got the University of Minnesota. Who's going to go out here? And this is the college game. I mean, most of the college days games are now going to be upbeat, upplay. And we start right away with conference play. Conference play right away. Man, this has got to be big time here in the Big Ten. We got Ohio State, who's got to replace Justin Fields as a quarterback. Can they replace him? Can Ohio State be? Are this just as a fool's goal pre-game, pre-show, preseason number 4 ranking? Are they the number 4 ranked team in the nation? That's going to be a good question. This game comes on at 8 o'clock Eastern time. The venue will be the TCEF Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Network will be carrying the game will be Fox. I wish it was on the All Sports, All Play Network, though. We have no records for them because this is the first game of college football season here for both teams. Ohio State, how they're going to win this ball game? They're going to have to go with their jumpstart with their running game. Everything starts with their running game. Their running attack is the key, and then they can start opening up their play action pass. Can they find a placement of Justin Fields? The school senior Quinn Ewers is too talented not to get a shot once he's up to speed, and reviewing the crops is a typical beyond loaded self. But the road in the Big Ten against a decent team, you start running the ball. That's going to be the key. That's going to be the key for Ohio State. They have to run the ball to get the young quarterback. They have to run the ball to get that young quarterback in some game flows here. So we're looking at it here at the typical thing here for the Ohio State. They have to run the ball. Minnesota's going to have to stop them run the ball, make them one-dimensional, and test out the new quarterback. They have to test out the new quarterback. They have to take away that running game and force him down the field. If you can force him down the field, then you can force turnovers, mistakes, and you can capitalize. And they can capitalize on their mistakes. Then you got to understand here, what are Minnesota's defense going to have to do? They're experienced enough to be better than what they were last year. The Gophers are getting more talented, but they are more mature with almost everything. Everyone's returning on the defensive side. The secondary shots be a plus, and at least their beef up front potential holds up. They got to hold up against the running game. And that's what Ohio State wants to do. They have to run the ball. You got to force them not to run the ball. You got to force them to make the mistakes. So you got to understand the capability of Ohio State. Their defense is going to be good, but they got to have their offense. So the key is Minnesota's going to have to stay on the field a little bit longer. They can't go 3 and out every time, every possession. They have to go and continue long drives against Ohio State for them to win. Can Minnesota do that? Yes, Minnesota can do that. But the question is, will they be able to do that, or will they run the game be too much and Ohio State wins big? That's going to be the key, and that's going to be the question here for this big contest in the Big Ten. Early on in the season, can Minnesota defense believe what's going to happen in this ball game? Let's take a look here. What we think is going to happen. We think Ohio State will run all over them. That's the belief. That's the concept because of the mistake. The big game play of Ohio State really is. Is Ohio State the really number 4 ranked team without Justin Fields? That's going to be the key to matchup. That's going to be the key to match up the gameplay right now. Do we believe in Minnesota's defense? In a way we can believe into them and a way we can't. They got to be established. They have to stop the run. They can force Ohio State some 4 and outs, 3 and outs, and not give up field position and play the field position game, and the defense keeps them in it and makes the quarterback. You have to learn how, if Ohio State's quarterback position is up to elite level, because that's going to be the key right here, that quarterback position. If you can force him down the field, force him throws early, and then not get him in the rhythm throws, like the little short screen out, the wide out, quick passes, get his confidence up, then he can start going. You have to put doubt in this young quarterback's mind. And that's going to be the key right here for Minnesota. Can they get pressure on the quarterback? Can they stop the run at the same time? Who will win the contest? That's going to be the big key here. We're looking at here the prediction on the line. Let's look at some of the lines here in Vegas. Ohio State, they're predicting to score Ohio State 38, Minnesota 20. Ohio State's a 14.5. Favorite in this game, 62.5. The confidence is 5-3. Must-see, the must-see ratings is 3.5. They're not really high on this game here. But like I said, the big key here is let's restate here right now. Can Minnesota stop Ohio State running game and force the young quarterback to make those throws that they got to make in college football? That's going to be the key for Minnesota. Everybody's predicting Ohio State win by 15, 18 points. I'm going to go a little bit out. I'll say Ohio State kills them. I think Ohio State can win this game because their running game is going to be dominant. Then the quarterback is going to preview in that area. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's what we're looking at right now here for the situation that we got planned. So, comment in here and find out. Let's look at some of the comments. You can comment right here on Facebook. If you're on Facebook watching YouTube, you can comment on YouTube. We get it all here. We get it all here everywhere. You can go to our website and watch it. But you can use your messenger to message us live here. I want to hear your take on the Ohio State and Minnesota game tonight. I want to hear that. If you some Ohio State fans are watching this, hey, why don't you come on, load it on up. Put it on the messenger. We can pull it up you send it to me on messenger. I can pull it up on a message. I'll put it on my screen. Boom, you got your pregame show. I want to know what y'all are doing out there getting ready for this game. This is hyped up game. This is hyped up. This is college football day. This is college football. It starts early. It started last night. If you missed that game last night, that was a pretty good one-sided game. UAB killed them. Killed Jacksonville State last night. Now we're going to get into talking here. We got a lot of games coming up here today. We got a lot of games coming up tomorrow. And then you'll catch all the pregame show here tomorrow, too, at 4:30. At 4 o'clock. I'm sorry. Tomorrow's at 4 o'clock. We're leading it all the way up to the 6 o'clock kickoff game. 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We're leading all that kickoff game here. So, we got to test the waters here. We got to get it. And then we're leading up on Saturday. We got a bunch of games on Saturday, and you can catch it right here on the Ray Sports Network at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time on Saturdays. You can catch it right here every day on the All Sports All Play Network. We're coming to you live all season long on the Ray Sports Show, the college pregame show on the All Sports Network. Let's get it. Let's keep it going here. let's keep it going. Let's let's preview our next game here in the contest. Our next game will be the Boise State. We're going to look at Boise State and UCF. Yes, this game right here. We're going to look at this game coming up right here. That right there. We're looking at that game right there. That game right there. The Mountain West Boise State against the American Conference UCF. That's the game right there. That is the game we're going to be talking about next here on the All Sports, All Play, and the Ray Sports Show, the pre-game college show for you. We're getting you coming up. We're getting you covered up here all the way up to 6:30 tonight when first kickoff on the game. Let's take it away. This game will be played tonight. Game time at 7 Eastern time at the venue at the Bounce House in Orlando, Florida. Network will be ESPN. So Boise State travels from the Idaho to the Florida to this game tonight, played in Orlando at the Bounce House at UCF. Let's get this game going here. Let's look at some of the things and the concept of this ball game here. The new head coach, Andy Alvalzo, is about to bring his high-octane passing attack, at least. That's what we hope. With the talent and ability to keep up with teams just like UCF, the Broncos have to have an outstanding receiving corps and a terrific quarterback in Hank Bagsmeister, at least when he's healthy, or Jack Sears, and with the experience up front comes up with a stronger overall for this year. The O-line has got to be the toughest part for Boise State because you know how UCF is going to be coming after them. They're going to come after the quarterback. The receiving corps has got to be outstanding for Boise State. It's got to be attack. It's got to be attack by Boise. If Boise gets down here and this bounce house goes crazy down in Orlando, it gets noisy. It's a small venue, but it gets loud. It's just the way it's built. It's built loud. Crowd's going to be up and running because they're going to get a full house down here in Florida. We don't, understand the pandemic and all that last year. This year, you get a full-blown house here in the state of Florida. There's going to be a sellout crowd. The noise is going to be on top of you. Can they? If you got some UCF fans, we got some Boise State fans, comment. Come on. We'll put that on here. We'll bring it up on the show. We'll let everybody think. We'll go to the world. Hey, if you got some pictures, load it up on Facebook. I'll go to Facebook and pull them out and put them on this show. This is all we talk about right now on the college sports game. We got the game pregame leading right up to 6:30 tonight. 6:30 game time. First college kickoff game on, I believe it's ESPN is the first kickoff game on ESPN. We'll get to that here in a little bit. We're going in this order right now. We're talking about this game right here, the Mountain West, Boise State versus the American Conference, UCF, University of Central Florida. That's the game we're talking about right there. That is the game we're talking about right there. So we're gonna have some information. We got some cool things going on, on the All Sports All Play Network. I'm getting some little bit of technical difficulties in here, so don't be scared. Step right on up in this thing. If you want to talk about it, hey, give me some information. We'll talk about it here. Yeah, so I'm getting some little more people. If some people in the backstage area wants to jump on here. Well, let's get this thing going. Let's get this thing rolling now. Let's go back. Let's talk about this game right here. We've been talking about how Boise State's going. Let's flip it around here. How will UCF win this game? And that's going to be an interesting question because Boise State's got a big mentality for big games. UCF is a big talent. We got some changes in coaches and everything else is going on at UCF. And now we're going to look at it here. Boise State has a little bit of work to do. It is still going to be a Mountain West best team, if not the stars of stars. And it's not the talent to go quickly and get past a few of the 2020 issues, but the ground game needs to improve, and that's what they need. They got to prove their grounding game. UCF's got to prove that running game. You know, they got the passing game down tight. They got all these passing trees they got, but they got to get the running game involved this day because Boise State's not going to let you pass all over them. Their defense is not going to be like that. You're going to have to be a balanced team. You're going to have to be able to run that ball against this Boise State defense. You got to put the ball out there. You got to put everything out on the line. UCF is playing at home. They're a great home team. Can they, Boise State come into Orlando, Florida, into the bounce house and beat UCF? They can, but the question is UCF as good as they think they are this year? And that's going to be a hard act to follow in here. You got, the new Knights head man is Gus Malzahn. We know what he did in at Auburn. We know he won a national championship, team, his spread offense type deal. So they're going to be out slinging around. But one thing about Gus Malzahn is he does come in a good improve with his running attack, with his airborne attack type deal. He does come with a decent running game issues and stuff like that. So, we might see, we're going to have to see Gus Malzahn if he can improve right here. He's averaging 568 yards on his offense, 42 points per game, and should be able to tweak things up just enough to matter. So expect for more from the running game, even against what it should be a break wall of Boise State's defense. Like I said, the front seven is great. And a whole lot of quick, big plays in the high energy attack. But the no defense isn't going to be special. Boise State will have its moments, but is loaded with experience and brings in a few nice parts from the transfer portal. As long as it holds severes once in a while, the offense will take care of the rest. What's going to go happen? This is what we're going to talk about. This is what we think is going to happen here in this ball game. Be ticked off if this isn't a blast. This game should be fun. This game should be probably one of the best games on the night of this young college football season. You get this Boise State and you get the UCF team. We know in the past that UFC was trying to get all this dominant and stuff like that. They were undefeated with Scott Frost. Purple came in with his attack. He did pretty good here. Can Gus Malzahn keep that trend going with new coaches coming into UCF and keeping them in the winning tradition? That's going to be the big key. What's going to happen is it's going to be a fire faint praise, but I call this a elimination game in the race for the group of 5 spot. We know what it's the group of 5 spots is. You have a better record than the small college, you get to go into that, New Year's Day bowl game, the New Year's Day bowl game. That's going to be the big. This is going to eliminate a team quickly right off the bat. Right off the season, this game is going to knock somebody out of this New Year Bowl 6 game. It's going to get the other team an upper hand on it. The team that loses could get back into that, bowl, New Year's Day bowl game, but it's going to be hard to count on the mower if everybody keeps winning. And if Boise State, who's going to take the first knockout blow right here? Will be UCF or Boise State. We're going to keep going here. The New Year's 6 bowl, more important, considers this a showcase game for all those conference. What's up, Big 12? That's desperate needs to find expansion partners. We know what's going on with the talk of the SEC and Texas and Oklahoma. Now we're going to see UCF wants to get into a conference. How they going to get in that, a bigger conference out of the American? Boise's getting their take. They might want to move up into a big, conference and stuff like that. So we're looking at this. We're looking at it, how this is going to take place here. And it's very interesting how this game can be showcased because it's going to be really showcased here tonight. This is the time to think this is the ESPN game at 7:00 Eastern time. So, in Orlando. So this is going to be a primetime game for these two teams. It's going to be showcased. Recruits are watching. Can they pick some of these high pro recruits to start coming to these type of college? And this is the game that they're going to have to do because this is going to separate between Boise State and UCF Central Florida, University of Central Florida, and Gus Malzahn, who's making his coaching debut for the Knights. So we're looking at this. And this is what we are expecting here. Expect over 600 passing yards between the two schools, mile move swings, and a whole lot of big plays in what turns out to be one of the best games of week one. And like I said, this could be one of the best week one games if they can stay close. But that's going to be a good question. We're how high scoring is this? Most experts got this game. UCF 43, Boise State 38. UCF a negative 0.5, 5.5 out of 68.5. And AT confidence out of that is a 5 and 1.5. You know, this is a must-see rating of 4. They give it a 4 must-see rating. I give it a 4 must-see rating. But I'm going to go the opposite. I think Boise State is going to come in and upset them. And I think it's going to be a big game. I think it's going to be 45-43, the final score of this game. So that's my beliefs in this game. I picked this one. I think Ohio State is going to win their game. You know, it might not be pretty easily for that, but it could be a blowout in that game too. So this game is going to be a high-scoring game. If you like high-scoring football game, this is part of the game to watch right here. This is part of the game to watch here in this game here. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next contest. Our next contest is going to be that we're going to talk about here today is going to be the Tennessee Volunteers versus Bowling Green. So Bowling Green will come into Knoxville, Tennessee, up in the Volunteer State. You know, that's going to be the talk about in this game here. The MAC West, the Midwest Conference, and Bowling Green versus the SEC Tennessee Volunteers. Can Tennessee? This is the game we're going to talk about. Can Tennessee get back on the winning track? This game will start tonight. Thursday night game at 8 Eastern time. The venue is Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. And this game will be seen on the SEC network. How is this thing going to fire out? How can Bowling Green win? Can Bowling Green go into Neyland Stadium, 105,000, 106,000 people screaming, and the blowing of Rocky Top? You know, they like that Rocky Tops up there. They like that Rocky Top. Can they do it? Can we see the spike? Can we see the play? Can we see everything here in this ball game? You know, this is going to be a situation. This is going to be what can Tennessee, what Bowling Green can do. All this pressure in the world is going to be on Tennessee to not just win this, but win it by a gazillion to kick off to Josh Heupel's era. Josh Heupel comes from UCF, comes all the way up to Tennessee era here. The problem for the Vols is the rebuilding aspect, what Heupel and his staff have to do. This is going to take a little while. Bowling Green hasn't been able to get the O going so far under Scott LaFleur. But the offensive line isn't all that bad. But there should be a decent running game at times, and Tennessee's defense has a whole lot of work they have to do. They have to play better defense than Tennessee. Tennessee has to play better defense. You know, if Bowling Green comes up in here, it could be another one of the laughable games that Tennessee had before and one in the history. You know, Utah State came in there and did that. Can Bowling Green come in to Knoxville and do the same thing they did? However, how will Tennessee win this ball game? Bowling Green is still trying to figure it all out. Tennessee might be starting over in a variety of ways, but it still has enough talent, enough option, enough upset to roll at will if this new offense can get going right away. Right away. The Tennessee Vols, by not letting this Bowling Green get confidence, they better not let this team get rolling on them. Their defense need to come out and establish and knock these pants off this Mid-American Conference team. And don't let Bowling Green get that confidence up, because Bowling Green should get that confidence up. This is going to be a well or hurt for Tennessee, and it could be a laughing stock for the SEC, the Southern Southern Eastern Conference. You know, this could be one of them laughing games. We don't know how this is really going to work with this. But to me, I think what could happen here is it will be rough, ragged at times. The ball must be a hint of what's coming down the road. Give it just over a quarter. Just when it seems like Bowling Green is going to make this a ball game, Hypo's offense will start to kick in. The Vols offense will hit a few home runs starting quarterback Joe Milton and will look strong. It'll get ugly in a hurry. Again, it won't always be pretty, but the home crowd will like the final score. So we're looking at this. We're looking at Tennessee. Tennessee got to hit them hard, got to blow them out in the first quarter. I say Tennessee need to be up by 14 by the end of the first quarter. If they get about 14 on them, Bowling Green's confidence could be shot by the second quarter, and the high-powered Hypo's offense will kick in and blow this game away. We're looking at the game here, and they saying it's not going to be even close. I'm going to say it's probably going to be close, but it could not be. They predicting Tennessee will go and score 48 points, and Bowling Green's only going to score 10. I say Tennessee wins 21-10. A little bit closer than expected. You know, that is a 35-point, point here on the prediction line. So I don't look at it that way. I look at it this way. I say it's going to be 21-10 Tennessee in this ball game. So we got the Tennessee game. Our next game on the contest here. Who the gauntlet's going to be? Who is the gauntlet going to be? Uh-oh. 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 It's the Battle of the Carolinas. It's the Battle of the Carolinas. It's the Battle of the Carolinas. East Carolina versus Appalachian State. Yes, we're going to go there. We're going there on this show. We don't care about the hypo, the power clubs. We don't care about anything else but the American Conference, East Carolina, and the Sun Belt, Appalachian State. That's what we're caring about right here on the Ray Sports Show. On the All Sports, All Play Network college pregame show. This is the premier college pregame show when you want your game and your information here to bring it up to you live here in prime time. This is a special edition of the Ray Sports Show pregame college show on the All Sports All Play Network. Coming to you live on Facebook. You can see it just strolling down here. Facebook, Twitch. The website. Our website is being hidden. I built a website to hit, and we are hitting here. You get all your information from there on these things. You see it scrolling down here. You got to get it, man. You got to get it. And also, we broke some news last week. And we got to give it up here a little bit here. We got to give it up a little bit here on the Fox D network. Certain shows will be on that platform. The show did not get on the platform tonight. We didn't get it all worked out in time. So we're just bringing you to on our network, on our Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and the website. Hit it all there. You can see it strolling down there. You see it strolling. We got to hit these places up. If you got it, you got it. If you haven't liked us on the Facebook page, like it. If you liked us on the Facebook page, go to our YouTube, like us there too. Go to our Twitch, like it there too. Hey man, we're on all these platforms here. You hit it all up, and you can also go on my Facebook page, my show page, and get us some more information there too. But we want you to hit the All Sports All Play Network. Hit all our networks first before you do anything else. There we go. We got to get the likes. We got to get the shares. If you like this show, share it. You got to understand we got concepts going here. Hey, look, man. Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much, man. I'm trying to get it all pumped up, man. I got to get you ready for this college football. This is game day. This is what we're waiting for. College will take the field. Then we're going to have the NFL. Also, got to give it up to the touchdown crew on Sundays on the All Sports All Play Network. We got to get them out there. They get doing the pregame show for the NFL. Hey, big breaking news here. Big breaking news. I got to give you some news here. The New Orleans Saints versus the Green Bay Packers here in Jacksonville at TIA Bank Field on September 12th. The hurricane was sorry for the folks down in New Orleans. I hope you're all good down there. I hope y'all stay safe. I hope you clean up. We're praying for you. We're getting you all worked up. We're getting you praise. I just want to go ahead and put that information out there. If you didn't know, they moved the game out because of safety issues and safety precautions. You got to be safety for the players, safety for the fans. So you guys from New Orleans, come on down. Hey, you from Green Bay, come on down. Come to Jacksonville. Hey, you got a home game here. We're ready to represent there. So this is the college game. So, all right, man. And we might have a special guest come on here in a few minutes here. I'm got to get it all set up for him here. So let me see here. Let me see my brother here. We might have a special guest to come on here in a few minutes here to help out here. We're going to talk about the East Carolina Pirates and the Sun Belt, Appalachian State. You know how Appalachian rolls. Appalachian rolls in there. That year they beat Michigan, that was a big talk. Appalachian is big praise by Appalachian State. Appalachian State. East Carolina's got some big name recognition too to beat NC State a few years back, to beat North Carolina last year. We got to can't take grains for salt for East Carolina, baby. The battle of the North Carolinas right here. Two smaller schools, not the four major colleges there in North Carolina State, and UNC and all of that. So let's see here. Let's see what Jay knows about Appalachian State and East Carolina and the battles of the Carolina. How you doing there, Jay? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? What's going on? How you doing?
Yeah. So you
hear me?
Understand. You got to understand these two schools here. I got to get my earpiece back in. All right.
Yeah, Appalachian State. I like to call them the burners. They got the land of the speed over there. It's always a quick team. Always has nice track speed on their wide receiver area. So I really like Appalachian State. I don't know too much about them coming into this season. Just to be honest, I didn't catch them too much this off season. Now Eastern Carolina, they're always a rough batch. They always have a decent running back, stout defense. I expect the same. As far as these two are concerned, it's going to be a grudge match. Appalachian State's used to putting up points, so we'll see what that stout defense is able to do if they're able to carry into the season and slow Appalachian down.
Appalachian State has got that high-power offense. They average about 450 yards in game, 34 points last year. They are always speed. They've been speed when Soloway was there. Soloway's now up at Louisville. The new head coach has come in and thought they were going to slow him down, but no, he just kept that going. Offensive, I think he was the offensive coordinator at the time, so he stepped in as the head coach here. So, to me, this is going to be ends of two meets here. You got Appalachian State, high speed. You got East Carolina, whose defense is trying to slow them down. You got to battles with. They got more experience on the defensive side for East Carolina, but the offense is still coming around for East Carolina. I don't know if they have enough firepower to match up with Appalachian State. So what do you see East Carolina doing more running attack to slow this offense down?
I mean, like I said, I know East Carolina for having a stout defense and some nice, powerful runners. With that being said, I expect them to come out full-fledged, running the football, slowing that. We and you both know, Ray, when you got a high-power offense like that, the least amount of touches and possessions that offense has is gonna benefit you in the long run. You let an offense like that touch the ball 5 times, they're gonna score 4. So if I can make but if I can cut them down to 2 possessions, it's going to be a much better chance for me to do what I need to do with this. So I expect them to come out, pace the game, slow it down, keep the possessions to a minimum, and there's going to be a lot of running the ball, like you said, a lot of running the ball.
All right, I got a little interesting tidbit here. The last time East Carolina lost to Appalachian State came back in 1975. They have a 6-game winning streak right now against Appalachian State. So,
Hey, that's one thing I said, man. Appalachian State, they're gonna have that track speed on the field. You expect their high power offense. You expect them to do that, but Eastern Carolina and that stout defense that run game usually slows them down. It's like Chip Kelly. He had issues. If you don't have the ball, you don't make them touches. Then you run them out the game.
Right. And then you got the East Carolina's quarterback has got experience by Helders. He's a good thrower. He's a good running quarterback. He can slow it down. He can speed it up too. But I don't think they want to get in a track meet. So I think they're going to be more of a deliberate style running attack. And don't put out the quarterback because the quarterback can run too.
And that's the thing too. I mean, in this position here, we're going to see how patient he is. I mean, running the football, yeah, okay. But again, don't get no track meet with him. Don't turn the ball over, and don't push it too fast to where you're running too quick of a pace of our offense. When you do run the ball, go ahead, fall down inside those white lines, keep that clock moving, and cut down those possessions. And I was looking here too. My bad. Hold on, let me look here, because don't who else is playing? We got Eastern Carolina. Who they got?
East Carolina versus Appalachian State.
And then what about Coastal?
Coastal Carolina's got Citadel.
See that? I was big on Coastal Carolina last year too, since we had that. It reminded me of them with the Carolinas. I like, what are they ranked 22nd right now coming in?
They're ranked number. I got it. Coastal Carolina is ranked number 22.
Yeah, see, I like them. I liked them last year coming in. They had a lot of momentum, and I think that organization there is going to be on an uptrend here for the next couple of years. They really, really, impressed me last year, going on that stretch towards the end. I also think, talking about this with the expansion of this playoff, I think that's going to benefit teams like this. You got the Coastal Carolinas, you got these other teams in these smaller divisions or conferences, I should say, that are going to get more of an opportunity to squeeze their way in there.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and give you the prediction of this Appalachian State East Carolina game. They predicted Appalachian State to win 38-30. It's only they gave it a 10-point spread in Vegas and stuff like that. So, do you think this is going to be an 8-point victory by Appalachian State, or can East Carolina do what they need to do to keep that winning streak going? Certain teams do play good against other teams.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Matchups. I think college football is huge based on matchups. Firepower is one thing, prestige is another thing, but the matchup, man. And I mean, going back to what me and you were just leading into this, because Carolina having a running quarterback and having a stout defense, it's all up to them. This game is theirs to lose. If they don't run that ball, hold that ball, and don't stand up to what their defense is known for, yeah, Appalachian State beats them probably by 14. But if they do what they're supposed to, this is definitely a bettor's bet in Vegas for them to at least cover that spread.
Yeah, we got a lot of games coming on this today, and since you led to the game, we're gonna go ahead and put this game up there. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it. The Citadel from the Southern Conference versus the Sun Belt Conference of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleer. So this is my take. I said it last week. You got the Citadel, who's some sort of like academy, a military school. They all run the option. They're just like Navy, just like Army. Air Force is a little bit more of a spread type deal out of the only academy. But the Chanticleers. Now, the problem here with this game here is you got to look at two things for the Coastal Carolina. They got to look at the play of the defensive ends and your linebackers. Because when you run the option, what happens? The defensive end charges into the quarterback. The back end defensive end is not flowing correctly, and your linebackers are not making a play on the pitch guy. So, if the Citadel can do their running attack, because they're averaging over 300 some odd on the ground, and they can get the Chanticleers defense out of missed out of their scheme of attack. Yep. So, what do you see? What do you see? Do you see this could be a problem?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. From what I've seen last year, I didn't catch a lot of games from Citadel in the past year or two. But from what I have, the glimpses I have caught of them, their defense is not the greatest. And Coastal Carolina has a nice high power offense that can get going and they can get into a shootout and compete. Now, looking on their defense side of the ball, speed kills that option. And they have a nice level of speed or a group of speed that's on that defense. So, like you said, it does come down to it does come down to those linebackers. But I think with the secondary and the speed at the secondary, they'll be able to alleviate some of that pressure for them.
Yeah, and the Citadel philosophy is run, 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 and then you could occasionally throw them little passes in there. And to me, I ran an option in high school, so I pretty much know the concept of what they run. Sometimes it could look like a triple option. Sometimes it could look like one of them old wishbone type style option. They got all kind of plays in their books.
Just disguise it.
But then the problem with this is the Citadel likes to throw what we call an option reverse into the middle, where they bring the receiver between the running back and they pitch the ball. The receiver acts like he's got it. Sometimes the running back gets it, or sometimes that receiver gets it. It all depends on what they see up in the box. So now we're looking at this: is that back defensive end has to play his position. If he gets out of position, we're going to see a lot of open runs, because usually when them triple option reverse goes about 15, 16 yards down the field without that defensive end there.
Well, see, another thing bringing that up, now you threw in another element to it too, because now I was just referring to the speed in that secondary. Well, with them playing aggressive, which I assume them to be playing aggressive against this style of offense, you make yourself susceptible to those type of passes that you were referring to when they drop out of that and end up throwing the ball. So again, that style of offense in college, it really puts the pressure on the defense to be patient and to believe in their their partners to do their assignments and do their job, because one person can mess it up, like you said, and they're 15 yards down the field, setting up for the next one on a quick, no huddle snap. So it can get ugly quick with a team that runs the option well. We've seen that over the past few years. But again, man, at some point, Ray, these option teams are going to have to change their style. Players now are looking to get into the NFL, and we've seen over the past few years that those option style teams don't translate very well, especially offensively. It doesn't translate very well into the NFL. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Carolina Coastal is going to pull it out. What's the spread on this one?
The spread on this one is 35.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I'm telling you, last year, I don't get excited for new teams very often. I'm an ASU guy till I die, I'm Arizona everything. But last year, I really got excited, sitting there doing jock talk on a weekly basis. And I'm just seeing week after week, Coastal Carolina. By the end of the year, I'm like, man, this team is really for real. So I'm not surprised by them having a 35-point gap on them.
You ready for this? You ready for this stat here? I got a stat for you.
All right.
About this. Do you know that the Citadel has been outscored 121-39 in the first quarter?
So they don't even give themselves a chance to get into the game, huh? Oh, see. Now that's a problem, right? I mean, that's a coaching issue. That's not players. Players rotate. That's an organization issue. Y'all be sleeping. Y'all need some more coffee when the game started.
I think they put their own selves to sleep. They scored 121-39, in the first quarter. Yeah, the big problems over the last 12 games in the first quarter, they got outscored 121-39 in the first quarter. Coastal Carolina's offense has was great last year, and it should be even better with their passing game. That should be able to keep the chains moving. And what you're talking about, that acceptable defense, because sometimes the option teams are good on offense, but not good on defense. And with the academy schools, it's hard to get into like Citadel, the Naval Academy, the Army, and all that. So you're not lacklusting your skills in that defensive position because all the people really from the academies are bright on the offensive side because they're smart. You got all them big academics things. So that's what going there. So let's take a look here. Since you mentioned that you're the Arizona State.
I think we came in this year about 25. I'm just happy we're coming into the season ranked, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting here. We're going. So what's your take on your take on their offensive scheme right now?
Listen, we got a very, very dangerous two-way quarterback. He was a true freshman last year starting. Doesn't happen often. In Arizona State, it's not something that we're known for. And I think he's handled himself well. I mean, we got to think about this, bro. Coming in as a true freshman and taking the reins over in a college football team that is not no. I mean, we're not the kingpins, but we're not no run of the mill. And to come into an organization like that, a school like that, and take over as a true freshman and take on the history of a college like that, it's big on your shoulders. To do it during a pandemic where there's games you're getting taken off, you don't have your players here, you're going up against the worst, your biggest threat of the year, and you got 3 or 4 of your main starters on the offensive end of the football field out, and you're a true freshman, that's a lot of weight to handle. And I'll tell you one thing, he did very, 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 very well with it. He towards the end of the season, I saw a lot better of a mix between running and passing, which we were waiting for him for the first few weeks of the season to get that down, and he looked good. So coming into this season, we're ranked 25. It's been a minute since we came in ranked. So I'm really looking for, some improvement from this team, from second-year starter as a sophomore.
Yeah, this game will be on tonight at 10:30 Eastern time. At the Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Pac-12 Network will be carrying this game here.
Another thing, we did very, very poor in daytime games last year. So what a better way to start off this year, right at nighttime, right in the peak of the twilight of it. Good scheduling. Good scheduling, CFB. All right. Or FBS, however you want to put it.
All right, let's give it some here. How will Southern Utah win this game?
They won't. You're asking the wrong guy. No, I'm just playing. They would possession, slow it down, keep it out of. Again, we got a high power offense when we want to have one. Keep it out of our hands. So that's how you beat it. That's how you beat a powerful offense. Keep the ball out of their hands. Run the ball and grind our defense. That is one thing that I will take as a cautionary. We did lose a couple of seniors on defense, a couple of big name players on defense as well. We did lose Eno Benjamin, which was huge the year before. So there's places where over the last year or two we've lost some players. So I will like to see now with 11 level playing field in the Pac-12 again as far as the schools, how it's going to level out. But I don't see Southern Utah. What's the spread?
What's the spread? It's not even close. 55-6.
Yeah, I don't see Southern Utah. Look, they shouldn't even sit on the bench. They just got to stand all game, be ready, because they're gonna be rotating.
Yeah, Southern Utah comes out of the Big Sky, Big Sky Conference. You think when it said Big Sky, you think the big plays. But last year they lost to San Jose State 45-14 at the beginning of the season. So so the Thunderbirds going to come in this game here. We're looking at it. I think Arizona State is going to jump on them quick, and they ain't going to know what happened until after you see the score 28-0 after the first quarter. And it's going to be coast to coast.
That's my type of language, right? Good job, Ray. That's my type of language there. Go Sun Devils.
Dude, the only notes I found on the Southern Utah team was they're lousy. They're lousy on offense, lousy on defense. They can't match up with a big time school. They're not a big time conference. You know, a Big Sky conference. They ain't big plays and stuff like that with the name of the conference there. This team is nowhere near
No,
big plays.
when I hear Big Sky and I watch Big Sky, I just think big dreams. That's all they got is big dreams.
Well, they're going to see a Big Sky tonight with all that football raining down on them.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
College football back in the air.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I talked earlier about Ohio State. I want to get your opinion on that Ohio State game with the loss of Justin Fields. How did they replace him?
First of all, look at the teams in the past. Ohio State is not, to me, if you ask me personally, they're not a huge quarterback team over the last few years. We've had Jalen Hurts, we've had a couple guys, but they haven't translated. You don't replace Jalen Hurts. You move on. You adapt to who you bring in. Now, they're going to be a completely different team, Ray. Let's be honest. Jalen Hurts is talented. He has a lot of skills. There's a lot of things that he's able to do that not a lot of people are able to do with that ball. So I expect some growing pains in the first couple of weeks. But let's be honest, it's Ohio State. They'll find their way into the Final Four.
Yeah, I look at that too. I want to get your take on here while we got you still on here.
Wait 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Do you think real quick? I'm sorry, Ray.
All right, we're going to move on to the American Conference. We're going to go to the Temple Owl out of Philadelphia, and big conference. The Rutgers out of New Jersey, they're Scarlet Knights. So, what's your take on this game here tonight?
I like Temple. I don't like them against Rutgers. I think Rutgers is going to end up pulling this one out. This is going to be one of those grinders, right? This is going to be one of those just full-blown old school football games. They're going to grind this out all the way to the end. I think out of the ones that we've talked about so far, I think this is probably going to be the closest one, if you ask me. I think that they'll be within a 5-point game, 3-point range. But I'll take Rutgers on this one. I don't know too much about what Temple's transition is from last year. I have to look a little bit of that up. But I know Temple, usually they'll come with a decent defense, and they usually have a decent run game as well. So it should be a grudge match.
Well, with the Rutgers, you got Greg Gonchiano, whatever I think that's his name back, with the one that coached at Tampa. He used to coach there, went to Tampa and came back. Now he's back at Rutgers. Under him, previous regime, under him, Rutgers turned out to be a good football team, a better football team. That's how they got into Big Ten, because of what he did leading up to that conception out of the American Conference into the Big Ten Conference. So we're looking at this. This is going to be the 6:30 tip-off kickoff game. This is on the Big Ten Network. It's in Piscataway, New Jersey, as the SHI Stadium at Rutgers. We talked about it. This Temple Owl team was in 2020. In 2020 was 8-5. No, 2019 8-5. They didn't play because of the pandemic. The offensive line is going to be terrific in a passing protection, and wide receiver core is good. But we know what Graciano is. He's a defensive kind of guy. His defensive schemes are a little bit complex, and sometimes he'll blitz at him in the direction. Where do you see Rutgers defense at? Is it even better than it was last year? It has to be.
It depends, man. It really depends on the continuity of these teams. You got to remember, Ray, a lot of these teams in a normal off season, they go home to their families for a little bit, but a lot of these guys stick with each other. A lot of these guys stay in touch. A lot of these guys still work out together. A lot of these guys still, communicate. I don't know what it was like, during this pandemic break stuff. I don't know if these guys were staying in shape. I don't know if these guys were working out together. I don't know about that. And on the defense side of the ball, again, trusting thy neighbor is a real important part of defensive schemes. So it's gonna. I think they're gonna have a couple weeks of growing pains to get back into the swing of things. But that defense is always there. That's why this is gonna be a grudge match.
Yeah, and this is what it says here. This is what's going to happen in this ball game. I kind of see it. Rutgers is going to win 31-17. I don't think Temple's got enough horse to be. Even though the Rutgers is the bottom half of the Big Ten, it's still a Big Ten team, and he still got talent. They still got all that talent, a little bit more talent than Temple does.
With that score there, that tells me that there's going to be some. They're going to have some defensive touchdowns.
Yeah, because you haven't said most of the experts and most of the articles I read and took my notes from saying that Temple will be a tougher out than it might seem, but the defense will be good. Offense will be just effective enough to keep the score close for 3 quarters. Rutgers defense, though, will come up with 3 takeaways.
There you go. Because there's no way that you give Rutgers 31 points.
Not with that offense.
No. So I see a couple defensive touchdowns. And like I said, I mean, Temple's going to – just what they just said is pretty much what I've been trying to echo. Temple's going to keep it close. They're going to run the ball as much as they can to keep that ball, the clock moving and stay in the game. That's why it's going to be a grudge match. So I totally believe that. I don't know about 31-17. I would have maybe took a more of a 24-18 approach, maybe 21-18 approach. So I'll go with that. I wouldn't bet that spread in Vegas.
Well, next game we're going to talk about is a game that I got a bunch of family members and friends and stuff like that. And they got a lot of people here in South Florida, in South Florida area. University of South Florida versus North Carolina State Wolfpack out of the ACC and American Conference. How do you see this game playing out?
This is a different one because North Carolina State, they always give me some false hope in the beginning. The beginning of the year, they always look like they're going to come out. It might be a different season, and they do one of these. Now, USF, on the other hand, has been on a tear to me lately. They're one of those up-and-coming schools to me, especially out of the Florida area. You guys got quite a bit of them. So I see the high-powered USF coming out and capitalizing quickly and often. And I actually see them taking this one to the house.
Yeah, I'm interested in the UCF game because the backup quarterback in North Carolina last year is the starting quarterback down in South Florida this year. He proved himself that he was reliable. They didn't have enough room in North Carolina to keep him because of Sam Howell and some other backups had it. He fell in the depth chart a little bit, so he transferred out and hit the transfer portal and got it picked up by UCF. So I like to see what's going to happen there because he had a big game against North Carolina State one year, but they lost to him, but he still did pretty good. So to me, this is the thing I look at North Carolina State here is the quarterback Devin Leary. He's a good quarterback. When he went down the last 2 years, NC State went down. If he stays healthy, then NC State's up. So the question is, if he goes down this year, I don't think they have a backup quarterback that's going to be able to keep him afloat.
That's been the story the last couple of years.
Yeah, Hogman did pretty good until they faced North Carolina, and then North Carolina destroyed them.
Until they faced a good defense.
Yep. So I look at this game right here. UCF has 81 tackles for loss and 30 sacks in 9 games. It has a long way to go, but North Carolina State's defensive front needs to find an anchor without Elena McNeil inside. But this group should be able to get behind the line. And my thing with North Carolina State's linebacker is Patrick Wilson. That middle linebacker, he's all over the place sometimes, but then he plays, not like he plays lackadaisical, and then he's out of position sometimes in different run attack. So, when Alan McNeil went to the NFL, that left him a big hole. How did they replace him?
I mean, it's one of those things. When you're talking about a talent of that level and just leaving them, just losing them, you got to do it by committee. You can't come out and expect one player to replace that type of production right away. So the way you do it is by camaraderie. Those linebackers need to come together and make sure that they're able to support that defensive front. So that way it's not so big of a deal, and they can bounce off of each other. I think 4 weeks down the road, week 5, week 4, you come back to this question, we'll have a better answer. But right now, these first couple weeks, it's going to be by committee. You can't look at one person on that team to replace that type of production.
And we know North Carolina State's got some good running backs, and they got a good quarterback, and got a good outstanding wide receiver. But the O line for North Carolina State has to get better. To me, I don't think they have proved as much as they supposed to, but they need to keep O'Leary upright. If he don't keep him upright this season, then they could be another injury on our way. Can O'Leary stay healthy this year?
I mean, that's the big question. And just like you said earlier, Ray, they don't have anybody behind him to, really come in and keep them afloat. So it's imperative that he stays healthy, he stays upright. Did they do enough to really make the improvement there? I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the the summer practice scrimmages that I was watching. I didn't see none of that. So we'll know after tonight. We'll know a little bit more about what it looks like, but it looks like more of the same out there in North Carolina State.
Yeah, is this the head coach Dorton? Is he on the hot seat if they don't start winning this year?
Yeah, he should be. I mean, you had your quarterback go down 2 years in a row, which totally derailed your season both times. And you're coming in year 3 and you haven't made major improvements on the issues that really derailed your season. So something has to give, and you got to go first.
Yeah, and this game is tonight at 7:30. Carter Finley Stadium, Raleigh, North Carolina, on the ACC network. Carter Finley Stadium is known for big crowds and stuff like that. The state of North Carolina is going to allow. Supposedly, they said they're going to allow a full capacity crowd, so that's going to be affected there too with all the howling and wolf noise and stuff they make there. But do you see? The prediction of this game is North Carolina State will win big, 40-17. Do you believe in that score, or do you think they're going to keep it close?
That is not too far-fetched because of the fact that I think what's the name wants to come out and make a huge statement. Like I said, he's had 2 years of season-ending injuries, so I do think he wants to come out and make a bang. Try to put some fear in some other defenses, you know what I mean? So I don't think that many defenses are really scared of him right now. So it's not totally far-fetched for week 1.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting play for North Carolina State, and if they can do it, stuff like that. Let's get your take on Weber State and number 24, Utah Utes.
Utah. Utah is good. They have a nice running back out there. I think he left last year though. I think it was his senior year. But they have a really good defense, man. Really, really, really good defense. Really good organization over there. They keep things tight. I think the last couple of years they've really been pointing up in the right direction, and I think they continue that this year. Weber State, sorry, man, but they're about to put up some numbers on you guys.
Yeah, this game is played tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time at Rice-Eccles Stadium, Salt Lake City, Utah. Pac-12 Network also is covering this game. We Weber State is the FCS playoff team through the spring season session, going unbeaten in the short regular season before dropping the 34-31 heartbreaker to Southern Illinois in the playoffs. So they just coming off of season that they were playing, in February and stuff like that. So they have they don't have too much of a rest time. You think that's much our advantage for Weber State because they played in a playoff game a little bit like in springtime?
Weber?
Yeah.
Is it an advantage for Weber? Yeah. I would say so. I mean, again, bro, I think this is a weird offseason, these last two off seasons. I think it's a different type of off season when life is normal. I think these guys are communicating more, working out together more, doing things like that more. So, Utah is a defensive team. And again, to me, defense comes down to camaraderie and trusting thy neighbor. So without being in those type of situations, with being around each other and having those secondary thoughts and second nature reactions to things because your buddy's going to be there, it's going to take a while to get those type of things. So I think it would be beneficial to Weber State, but I don't think it's going to help them win.
Yeah, I look at it this way, and reading an interesting thing about here, Baylor's quarterback, Charlie Brewer, is now in the mix at Weber State. Would that make any difference?
I mean, having a better quarterback is going to make a difference. But you need someone to catch the ball. I don't think Weber State has nearly the same weapons as Baylor. They definitely don't have the same speed as Baylor. Will it help them win a couple more games? Yeah. But it ain't going to change the outcome of this one.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at Weber State, they got to mix in with the run. They got the run to mix in. They got all those other issues. And then you're playing to Utah's strength is the defense. And then the offensive line will probably put them away at the end because, they'll be wearing themselves down a little bit,
Exactly.
But they did predict this game to be Utah 38, Weber State 10. I kind of see that myself. Actually,
I'll take that bet in Vegas.
Actually, I kind of see it a little bit different. I see it 48 to probably 7, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'll take that bet in Vegas all day.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're a betting man. I'm not really a go to Vegas betting kind of person.
Gotta get in there every once in a while. Especially during, it's different during like the NBA, NFL. It's different to me. I bet football a little bit. But college now, that's where it's at.
Well, you got to worry about college. You got to worry about the point spread.
That's what I was saying. I'll take that spread. I'll take that one.
Yeah, if you look at it here, we have a lot more games here to cover. We get running a little bit out of short here. We're going to try to get these fast ones in here. How about
I'll take on two more, and then I got to jump off to go prepare for my next show.
I'll give you this one right here. Since you're talking about Vegas and everything, since we're going to put a little subway to Vegas here, how about this game right here? The Big Sky, Eastern Washington University, the Mountain West, UNLV, the Running Rebels. Are they going to be running tonight?
The Running Rebels. I'm hoping so. I like me some Rebels, man. That's going to be a good game. I think UNLV they're at home.
This game will be played at Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Alliance Stadium.
I like UNLV in this one. I like the UNLV by 10.
You got them by 10?
What's the spread?
Wow. You went up 6 more points than what they predicted. They predicted UNLV 34, Eastern Washington 30. You get close to the spread, but you gave them a better.
I got him.
Than this.
Got him.
Now, what he said by the Rebels defense should be able to hold, serve, but just enough to matter to Eastern Washington will turn it over at least twice in this ball game. So they're turnover prone. Their quarterback's always been turnover prone for Eastern Washington. So to me, it's not bad. If you look at the Mountain West's bigger surprise, it's not just that all 11 starters return, but their depth and upgrading talent from the transfer portal for UNLV. So you think UNLV is going to run them all over the thing? They said no, it's going to be close. I think like you, I think running Rebels is going to be running all night, and they probably run all the way to the casinos.
Got to, especially now that it's out there like that. But hey, man, appreciate you letting me jump on with you, talk a little bit of college football. Hopefully, I'll be on here full time with you here soon. But catch Ray's show every Saturday morning. It's a great show. I'm sure I'll have the best and latest for you.
I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:00.
4?
4.
I might be here with you.
4 to 6. Lean all the way up to North Carolina kickoff.
Well, I might be here with you. I will be on here later on. Catch Real Talk just a little bit. A couple hours from now, you guys.
I'll be back on too for a full count.
Yes, sir.
For your show. See you, man. You got to thank Jay for joining us tonight to break down some college football level here. Got some good predictions out of this day here. I'm sorry we couldn't get. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more games to cover, but the time constraint, the Mother Nature here in Florida didn't help out too good, and trying to get everything stuff. So we're getting ready for kickoff here in about like 10 minutes, and Toyo leading all the way up to kickoff time. So we got a few minutes here. I'll pull a couple more out here. Let's go here. Let's pull out a couple more stops here. This game is New Mexico versus Houston Baptist. The broadcast is on tonight at 7:00 at the Dream Style Stadium in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The network is TBD. It's not been mentioned yet. What we will see here out of this game, this is going to be a good game here. The Huskies will be winding up the ball all over the yard. Houston Baptist didn't do the 2021 spring season thing, but it made a whole lot nasty for Texas Tech, Northern Texas, and Louisiana Tech in 2020 with a high-power pass game that averaged over 460 yards per game. The offensive style isn't going to stop now. New Mexico's defense got better. At least seasons went on, but it was a disaster early and wasn't anything special. New Mexico, Houston Baptist did not play a whole lot of defense either. The offense might have put up a gazillion yards per game, but the defense also gave up a gazillion yards, gazillion points. The Huskies get into a shootout, but those losses, 3 games against the FES, the HBU, should work, but it wasn't so good last season. WKU, Western Kentucky University, took away the offensive coordinator, star quarterback Bailey Zemp, and 3 of the top receiver. New Mexico's offense was able to get the ground game going throughout last year, and it is not going to have any issue, powering up over 300, almost 300, 200 yards rushing, probably 300 yards rushing at the most. They got New Mexico winning 47-31 over Baptist. I kind of see that too. I don't know too much about Houston Baptist. They're out of the Sutherland Conference. They're out of the Sutherland. Yeah, I'll put up that little tidbit right here. They're out of the Sutherland Conference, the Mountain West from New Mexico. I think New Mexico will win this one. I think it will destroy them. Out of that concept there, I believe in that scenario there for at the time being. So hey, how about this? Since I'm in the state of Florida, how about this game here? Let me see if I can find there. Oh yeah, this one here. I'll bring this scat up right quick here. How about that one right there? We got the Long Island University out of the Northeastern Conference and the Conference USA, FIU, Florida International University. How do we see LIU versus FIU in this ball game? I think Florida International is a pretty good football team. I think under Butch Davis, I believe that's who's coaching them now. I kind of see that I see kind of two different styles. I see a much of a tough running style and a tough defensive style under Butch Davis, and then we have seen here over the years and time of time constraints and stuff like that. So FIU here. This game is on at 7:00 at Rico Sevilla Stadium in Miami. The game will be located on ESPN3. The Sharks has a fun spring run, going 2-2 with a thrilling opening with win over Bryant and close out with a good performance win and Marriott Mac. This might be the program just getting rolling. Relev was picking up. The defense was good and taking the ball away. The offense was perfectly balanced with 516 yards rushing in 4 games and 516 yards passing, and the pass rush isn't bad. FIU offense still has to improve. It can do something with the passing game that was a total disaster and shortened the 2020 season. I think that passing game needs to get better. I agree with that sentiment too. The Golden Panthers defense should make up concerns on the offensive side. This isn't going to be a high octane offense quite yet, but it should be able to move the ball and change for all the positive on the LIU defense over this 4 games. What's going to happen? LIU will be feisty, and it will be kept this from getting out of hand with a few takeaways. But the FIU defense will hold them firm in second half, and the offense will do enough to comfortably. I think FIU will win 36, LIU 17 in this contest here. So that's that one contest here. We are leading right up to kickoff. I don't want to hold everybody up from their games that they want to go to here, but I want to keep on going a little bit here. Let's pick up Tulsa and UC Davis here. We'll pick up Tulsa and UC Davis here. That's the graphics right here. The Big Sky, UCS Davis, the Aggies versus American Conference Tulsa, the Golden Rockets. Tulsa, and this game is on 7:30. This game is on ESPN Plus at Chapman Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Aggies know how to run the ball. This is going to be a tale of probably 2 different things here. The Aggies know how to run the ball. The Rockets do too. The 3-2 and the FCS spring session, they average 226 yards per game and balance it all out with the effective passing attack. Tulsa's run defense should be a rock. Heart and soul linebacker Zevon Collins might be gone, but the main man on the defense front return to go along with the solid veteran in the linebacker core. So that's going to be a big key for Tulsa's play of their front 7 and the back end of their linebacker, their cornerbacks and safety has got to be a little bit stronger too. On the other side, the Golden Hurricanes offense front gets everyone back and should be do some pounding away of its own with the running back Sherman Brooks back from his knee injury. Tulsa has his star to work around. He'll lead a deep group of running backs. So they rely heavily on the running backs too. This could be an interesting game. What's going to happen is not going to be anything pretty, but the Golden Hurricanes will control the game on the ground and get stronger performance. They predicting Tulsa to win 37-13. I kind of agree with that too over UC Davis. So all right, well, let's go to Western Kentucky and UT Martin, University of Tennessee Martin here. There we go right here. We got the Ohio Valley Conference, the UT Martin Skyhawks versus the Conference USA Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. And this So we're looking at the Hilltoppers here. They got a prediction here: Western Kentucky University 44, UT Martin 44. I might see a little bit closer than that. See it probably 44-21 in this game here for the Western Kentucky University. We got two more games coming up here. Let's see here. I don't want to run over. We got 3 minutes here. We got 3 minutes. This is a 3-minute rush. The 3-minute rush there. We're on the 3rd-yard line going in for a goal. Can we make it a goal? We got 2 more games to cover here. We want to get the games covered as fast as possible here. We don't want to leave nobody out. We have 14 games today. I think we have 10 tomorrow. So here we go. We're gonna go with the Buffalo Bulls versus the Wagner Seahawks out of the Northeast Conference and the Mid American Conference here. We're going to go ahead real quick here. This game is at 7 o'clock, UBE Stadium in Buffalo, New York. ESPN3 is covering the game. Wagner's offense might have had problems scoring in 2 spring sessions, but the defense front was able to get behind the line with 5 sacks and 19 tackles. So that defense line is good. They got a hybrid pass rusher and Titus Leo, who is a big-time playmaker. He leads the team with 15 tackles with 2 sacks and 4 tackles for the loss. With 2 forced fumbles, Buffalo has a slew of strong parts, but the offensive front needs an overhaul with most of the starters missing. So Buffalo's front line on the offense is going to be a question to be watching out for this game here. New Buffalo head coach Maurice Lindegas is a big-time defensive talent and he's got a guy to put together on one of the best defense in the MAC. The secondary is going to be fantastic, and the linebacker core will be terrific. That problem for Wagner's offense that managed to grant a grand total of 7 points in 2 games this spring and the long touchdown thing. This game is going to be big. Buffalo is going to win 45-3. I kind of see that score right there for that game. And can we make it here? We got 1 minute to get this Ball State game in here. Let's get this Ball State game in here real quick here. Ball State game here. Let's put the graphic up real quick. There we go, Ball State there. So let's go here real quick here. I'll give you a quick game here on this one. The 11X struggles in FCS spring training 1 for 5, but the passing game is just dangerous. They got a good passing attack. Ball State's pass rush is just okay. The secondary allows most 300 passing yards a game. So this is going to be a battle of pass rushing and a non-pass rushing defense in this game. But I think Ball State's offense is a little bit more better. Ball State will target practice. Western Illinois is going to be a bit better. So we got the Valley, the Missouri Valley, Western Illinois versus the Mid Conference. Like I said, this game will be broadcast at 7 o'clock at Schumann Stadium in Nice, Indiana, on ESPN Plus. The prediction is Ball State 41, Western Illinois 17. There you go. We got it all through here. We covered most of the games to give you a little bit of insight. So guess what? Kickoff is now starting. Kickoff is now starting. Thank you for joining to the Rage Sports Show, the pre-college football game on the All Sports All Play Network. Thanks to big breaking news that we were going to be on the Fox D television network. Certain shows, my show was one of them, that will be broadcast on that platform on Saturday. You can catch this show on Saturday at 9 a.m. to 12, leading up to kickoff time on the All Sports All Play Network and the Fox D Network. And also later on tonight, you can catch me on Full Count. Full Count, it's at 7 Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch Real Talk at 8 p.m. Central Time. And you can catch the fantasy football, I think, the wrestling, let me see, I think it's one more show on here, but I'm not quite sure. But also catch our the Touchdown Crew, on Sundays, the pregame show there. They lead you all the way up to the NFL kickoff. So we got that covered here. See you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, we're having another special at 4 o'clock. We're leading to the 6 o'clock kickoff on Friday. The Rays Sports Show will cover you a game, college pregame show. We'll start at 4 o'clock tomorrow, leading you all the way up to 6 p.m. kickoff time. This is Ray Cruz for the Rays Sports Show and the All Sports Play Network. Have a good night.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're out in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays.